resources that are available in our community, but our community don't know that the resources are right at your front door. The Watchmen now, who are at the round table, the Watchmen have been awakened.
We got to figure out how we're going to do this thing different. Our way.
The nooks and crannies in your community and bring the information out there.
Sister Yasmin. Hi, my name is Brother Lionel, and I'm here. I'm glad, first and foremost, I thank you for meeting with me and allowing yourself to be interviewed. We heard about your story and would love to get your story out there. So thank you for your bravery. I'm glad that you are willing to share it with us, and we have an audience that would love to hear. So there's just a few questions in our interview that I want to go into, and please, again, as I explained to you earlier, if at any moment, sister, you feel uncomfortable with any one of the questions, you can stop me at any moment, okay? Because I understand how hard it may be, what you have gone through. So one of the first questions I wanted to start with is, can you walk us through what happened on December 3rd?
So it was about 1:30 in the morning. I was coming home from a holiday party from a friend's house, and I needed some gas and I needed to use the restroom. So I said, okay, perfect. I'll stop at the Wawa down the street from my house. I go there pretty much all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
Not a problem. So when I was exiting the Wawa, going to my vehicle, there was another car parked next to me. There was an African-American woman and there was a Hispanic woman. The African-American woman flagging me down. Hey. I said, I stopped. I said, maybe I know her. And she said, oh, do you wear perfume? I said, oh, no problem. No, thank you. I don't want any. And the passenger, Hispanic woman said, oh, it'll only take 30 seconds. Just come down here to the other parking lot. It'll only take 30 seconds.
Yes.
The other parking lot is very dark. I said, no, thank you. They asked me quite a few more times, and I remained with no, thank you. So when I turned my back to get in my vehicle, the passenger side woman exited the vehicle, jumped out, grabbed me, and tried to take me into the car with them when the car was backing up.
Wow.
So I screamed, and I just was shaking until I could break free, jumped into my car, hit the 911 button in my car, and the 911 dispatcher said that they could not dispatch a officer, that I needed to go make a police report. At that time, I was already exiting the Wawa. I said, fine, I don't want to go home. I'll go make a police report. And that's what I did.
Wow. Did you ever think something like this would ever happen to you?
No, not at all. I'm a heavy woman. I'm short, but I'm heavy.
Yeah.
So I walked around my whole life thinking I was invincible. So I would have never thought this would happen to me, ever. It's very surprising.
Wow. I mean, and this happened in the Willingboro area?
In Pennsauken.
In Pennsauken.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And Sister Yasmin, what words of advice could you offer to prep people from this experience?
To prep them, I want you to think that it will always happen to someone very close to you. So don't think that, oh, it will never be anyone I don't know. It always hits close to home.
Yes.
So, and just never think it can't be you, because it could be anybody. Just be aware of your surroundings and be aware of people that you think might be your new friends. So just always, be careful.
Yes, ma'am. And I have one more question. I know you and I discussed this a little earlier, and I wanted to bring it up. In light of the recent incident that took place in New York, where it turned out to be a hoax, what could you say to our audience who, they're looking at, okay, well, yeah, Yasmin, how do we know that this is true, what you're saying? What could you say to them?
Which I have said to them, I have my case number. I have the number to the police station. You want to check my background, you want to check my facts, be my guest. The situation that happened in New York was very unfortunate. It was very damaging to people who have experienced things like that, like myself.
Yes.
I feel like it was a setback.
Yeah.
And all I can do is, make people aware of my situation, and hopefully other people will want to come forward and share their story, so we could bring, awareness to the situation, because it's very much real.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Did you try to reach out to anybody else in regards to your story?
No.
No?
I never thought it got as big as it would.
Yes.
I put it on Facebook so my friends and family could be aware, and the people in my community could be aware.
Yes.
To my knowledge, it made it all the way down to Florida and
Wow.
back. Yeah, as far as New York, all the way down to Florida.
Yes.
People who have been reaching out to me and telling me their stories. So I just want everybody to just, speak up.
Yes. 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 And what could you say? I know you had shared an earlier situation where you reached out to do an interview, and they pretty much rejected you.
They reached out to me.
They reached out to you. Okay.
Yeah, they reached out to me. I gave them all the information. They did their research, set up the interview, but their boss said, they didn't want to pick up the story.
How did that make you feel?
At that point, I was a little like, okay, like this must happen a lot for them not to really want to, pick up the story. So I wasn't defeated. I knew I had spoken to my friend, and we were going to do something in our community where I was able to speak to young girls. So I knew my voice was going to be heard either way.
Yes. Have you had contact with those who would have minimized your issue? Oh, Yasmin, that's just, they just blow it off and minimize it. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel like people didn't want to believe me. But I know people who do know me, there's no reason for me to lie. So that made me feel good. And hopefully the people who minimize the situation, I hope that this doesn't happen to them, but I hope that they open their eyes and they see like the situation is very serious.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, with our local organizations that we have in the Burlington area, the Camden County area, we have organizations, self-help organizations. We have men's leadership. We have young men's leadership conferences. We have all of this conference. Yasmin, I would like for you to take the opportunity to speak with those men. Speak to the men, the leadership in the community. Speak to the politicians. Speak to the women. Take this opportunity and speak to them. What could we do? What could you say to them to set our minds to be proactive instead of reactive before this gets to our door? What can you say to the community?
The only thing I can offer is just be aware.
Yes.
Don't take people's stories and things they might tell you. Don't take it lightly.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe them, do your research.
Yes.
You'll know. You'll find out. And I hope when you find out, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That you just go ahead and you follow through with doing the right thing.
Yes.
So do your research, be prepared, and make sure that when you're outside your house, that
You okay?
I'm sorry.
You okay?
Fine. It's just you know,
Take a break.
it's very upsetting.
Yes.
You know, I'm not sure what I could say. I want to make sure that I know I'm telling you the right thing to do,
Yes.
and I don't want anybody else to end up like me.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, I thank you. You have no idea the level of courage that you have shown.
thank you.
You really have no idea. And I hope that those that are viewing this, let us not wait till it comes to our door. It's unfortunate that our women, it's in our community. Let us not act like it's not in our community. We should not act like that. So I hope those that are watching, that we take a serious look at ourselves and ask us, what are we doing on Sundays when we have our feet up and we're watching the football game or we're watching the basketball game? Because there's some young lady out there that can't experience this holiday. There's some young lady out there that she will never receive an education. It won't happen. And we as men that are supposed to be the protectors of our women, unfortunately, I want to apologize on behalf of all of us as men. Because I think sometimes we're so narrow-minded that we just focus on our community and we don't begin to see, Sister Yasmin, you are my sister. Sister Yasmin, you could be not my daughter, however, but you are a mother, you are a daughter to someone. You are an auntie, you are a sister, you are a niece, you are a friend. And when we begin to see each other like that, then now, because I may not know you, I'm obligated to still protect you, regardless. It doesn't matter if I don't know what your name is. I should be obligated to make sure that you get to your car, or if I see something suspicious, I should be willing to give my life to make sure that you as a woman, on top of it a black woman, but you as a woman, I should be willing to give, we should be as men willing to give our life for our women. And I really believe that if we make up our minds that this is what we're going to do, we're going to be protectors of our community, I think our women will feel a little bit more secure. They will feel good about us as men. So again, I thank you. I really, from the depth of my heart, I thank you for telling your story. And I pray that it does reach thousands of people. I pray that it does. And again, I pray that we as men begin to stand up and become encouraged, courageous, fearless, and take care of our communities like we said. So I thank you for allowing me to do this interview, and I pray that this interview has helped you a lot tremendously in being able to tell your story. Thank you again.
You're welcome.